In a small Nigerian village nestled between rolling hills and lush greenery, there lived a woman named Adana. She was known throughout the village for her unwavering faith and dedication to her church, where she spent countless hours in prayer and worship. Adana's devotion, however, did not extend to her only son, Obinna. From a young age, Obinna was left to his own devices, free to roam the village without much guidance or supervision from his mother. Adana, preoccupied with her religious duties, neglected to instill in him the values she held dear. As a result, Obinna grew up without a strong moral compass, his actions often reflecting his lack of guidance. As he entered his teenage years, Obinna's rebellious nature became more pronounced. He would skip school, stay out late with friends, and show little respect for authority. His behavior became a source of pain and embarrassment for Adana, who could only watch helplessly as her son strayed further from the path of righteousness. Despite her best efforts to discipline him and steer him back on course, Adana's words fell on deaf ears. Obinna's heart seemed hardened, his actions reflecting a deep-seated rebellion against both his mother and the values she held dear. And so, the rift between mother and son grew, widening with each passing day, until it seemed as though there was no hope for reconciliation. As Obinna grew older, his rebellious behavior escalated. He became known in the village as a troublemaker, often getting into fights and causing disturbances. His disregard for authority and lack of respect for others earned him a reputation as a thorn in the side of the community. Adana's heart ached as she watched her son's downward spiral. She tried to reach out to him to show him love and compassion, but he pushed her away, resentful of her attempts to change him. The more she tried to intervene, the more he rebelled, until it seemed as though he was beyond reach. The villagers, too, began to distance themselves from Obinna. They saw him as a lost cause, a wayward soul who would never amount to anything. Adana felt the weight of their judgment, the shame of having raised a son who brought dishonor to her name. Despite everything, Adana refused to give up on her son. She continued to pray for him, to intercede on his behalf, hoping that one day he would see the error of his ways and return to the path of righteousness. But as the years passed, her hope began to wane, and she wondered if her prayers would ever be answered. One day, while wandering aimlessly in the bush, Obinna stumbled upon a secluded clearing where an old man sat, seemingly lost in thought. Intrigued, Obinna approached the man, who looked up with eyes that seemed to pierce straight through him. The old man, known for his wisdom and insight, greeted Obinna warmly and invited him to sit and talk. Intrigued by the stranger's demeanor, Obinna found himself opening up, pouring out his heart and soul. He spoke of his troubled past, of the struggles and his pain, of his deep-seated resentment towards his mother. To Obinna's surprise, the old man listened intently, nodding sagely as if he understood the depth of his despair. When Obinna had finished speaking, the old man spoke in a voice that was both gentle and firm. "My son," he said, "I sense a great burden weighing on your heart, but know this, it is never too late to change, to turn away from the path of destruction and embrace a new way of life." Obinna was taken aback by the old man's words. Could it be that there was hope for him after all? Would he truly change his ways and become a better man? The old man smiled knowingly, as if reading his thoughts. Yes, my son, he said, but you must be willing to let go of the past, to forgive those who have wronged you, and seek redemption with a humble heart. With those words, the old man stood up and began to walk away, leaving Obinna to ponder his words and the community. Could this be the turning point he had been searching for? Could this wise man hold the key to his salvation? Filled with a newfound sense of hope, Obinna made a decision. He would seek out the old man and ask for his guidance, for he knew that only through humility and obedience could he hope to find peace and redemption. Obinna set out to find the wise man, his heart heavy with anticipation. He searched through the bush for days, asking villagers if they had seen the old man, but no one seemed to know of his whereabouts. Just as he was about to give up hope, Obinna stumbled upon a small secluded hut hidden deep within the forest. Inside, he found the wise man, who greeted him with a warm smile. Obinna poured out his heart once more and confessing his sin and asking for guidance on how to change his ways. The wise man listened intently, his eyes filled with compassion. My son, he said, true change comes from within. You must be willing to confront your past and make amends for your actions. Only then can you hope to find redemption. Obinna took the wise man's words to heart. He spent weeks in the hut, meditating and praying, seeking forgiveness for his sins. Slowly but surely, a transformation began to take place within him. The anger and resentment that had consumed him for so long began to fade, replaced by a sense of peace and contentment. When Obinna emerged from the hut, he was a changed man. The villagers could hardly believe their eyes. The once wayward son had become a beacon of hope and inspiration, spreading the word of God wherever he went. Adanna too was overjoyed at her son's transformation. She thanked the wise man for his guidance and vowed to never again neglect the nurturing of her child's heart and soul. And so Obinna's story became a testament to the power of faith and the importance of obedience. His journey from rebellion to redemption served as a reminder to all that no one is beyond saving, and that with faith and perseverance, even the most wayward soul can find their way back to the light. Obinna's transformation was nothing short of miraculous, and word of his redemption spread far and wide. People came from neighboring villages to hear his story, to witness firsthand the power of faith and obedience. As the years passed, Obinna became a respected member of the community, known for his wisdom and compassion. He counseled those who were lost and guided them back to the path of righteousness. His mother, Adanna, watched with pride as her son became a shining example of God's grace. One day, as Obinna sat beneath a tree, reflecting on his journey, the wise man appeared before him once more. Obinna fell to his knees, overcome with gratitude. "Thank you," he said, his voice choked with emotion. "Thank you for showing me the way, for believing in me when no one else did." The wise man smiled and placed a hand on Obinna's shoulder. "You have always had the power to change within you, my son," he said. "I simply helped you find it." With that, the wise man disappeared, leaving Obinna with a renewed sense of purpose. He continued to spread the word of God, touching the hearts of all who crossed his path. And so, Obinna's story became legend in the village, a testament to the power of faith and the importance of obedience. His journey from a wayward son to a beacon of hope served as a reminder that no matter how far we may stray, redemption is always within reach for those who seek it with a humble heart.